Adamantium Shadow Poo!
Hello, welcome to the Bronze Age Monsters Shadow Show. This is a show we do bi-weekly for our loyal patrons. And this is where we talk about, we used to talk about movies. We used to talk about a bunch of different stuff. In our last season here, we are going through, Matt, you lovingly made a list of all the stuff that we had talked about doing, but have never done. And so that's kind of what we're doing with the Shadow Show. It's not bat and cleanup. It's just getting stuff that we really loved and really wanted to check out that didn't quite have time for us. We're making time. We're making time every other week and doing, and I've loved it. I've loved the retooled Shadow Show.
It's been fun. And, this is definitely one, part of the list of stuff that we're going through is stuff that, when I just kind of made a list of like, if we were robots and we did this until we broke down, what would we review in future seasons? And this was on there. I just started buying a bunch of Bronze Age stuff. Read the first page or read the back of the book, and I was like, okay, well, we're definitely going to be talking about this, and bought you one.
You bought me this trade, I don't know, a year and a half ago?
More than that, maybe.
More than that. It's got to be like over 2 years, right? Yeah.
So, but I hadn't cracked it.
I hadn't either. It was right behind my bedside table.
And so we, initially when we were going to be doing full hour long or whatever, like going through the entire issue like we would in the main show, I decided let's not just do number ones of everything. That's boring. And, come to find out, a lot of times the number ones are kind of boring. Sometimes you need to let them get their legs and start getting fun. And we thought it'd be more fun to just jump in randomly in the middle of something like Deathlock and just read issue 17 and try and figure out what the hell's going on. We're going to stick with that, but we're kind of doing like we're talking about Skull the Slayer number 2. And I read the first 2 issues just so I could read the origin. I mean, it's kind of a small lift, so. Yeah. But we're specifically talking about issue 2. So, yeah, had you even heard of this before? I hadn't.
Nope. I hadn't heard of it at all.
So it ran for 8 issues. It was created by Marv Wolfman back when he was at DC. This idea came to him. And I think he might have even pitched it and they passed on it. And then he sat on it for a while. And then when he came over to Marvel, he pitched it again to Roy, I think. And Roy liked the idea because he liked dinosaurs. That's such a Roy thing to say. I like dinosaurs. Let's make this book. So this is kind of a strange mix of different stuff. It's got some kind of what were 70s new age kind of things like Bermuda Triangle, just kind of, what would you call that? Not mysticism, but like ultra Fortean times, kind of just
unexplained.
Yeah, like the Stonehenge and all that crap. Like, so it's, do you want to explain the premise of like what happens in 1 so we can kind of set the table for 2?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's basically about this guy who was taken prisoner in Vietnam. It starts out, I do like the issue 1 starts out with them kind of all on this like transport plane. And so there's a bunch of, it's kind of like a little motley crew that's on there. You got the pretty gal, the kind of grizzled like army guy, you got a bunch of different things, but the main one is John Skull.
I thought it was Mike. Is it John?
Is it Mike?
Mike Scully.
I think you're right. It is Mike. Yeah, it is Mike Scully.
Hey, this is Matt here. I corrected Jacob and said Mike Scully, but I was wrong. Mike Scully is actually an American television writer and producer. He is best known for his work as executive producer and showrunner of The Simpsons from 1997 to 2001, which is where I saw his name on the credits constantly in that era. Don't know why I thought Mike Scully was right. It's not. It's John Scully. Jacob was right. I was wrong.
So, yeah, and so it kind of goes through his story. He's being taken, he's a murderer, and goes through, and we realize, he was taken prisoner in Nam. He came back, and like a lot of soldiers coming back, they didn't have the warmest welcome. Went to see his brother. His brother attacks him, and he uses his trained killer instincts and accidentally defends himself and kills his brother. and then gets taken prisoner and is being taken back to be put on trial. But this plane goes through a crazy wormhole. Even though I do love how they did this to where it's like all their bodies are kind of like taken apart and put back together again, and it's actually really cool. Like the pilots, they're kind of like holding their faces and like all this crazy shit's coming out. Yeah, it's actually really cool. And then they end up in dinosaur times. And it's pretty great. And so Mike Scully, and so he's so they're just like three of them survive, and just kind of explore this world. And he I think my favorite thing, like before they even meet, like I think in issue 2, we're going to see they meet these, cavemen basically. But before that, when I first was just like, oh, okay, I like this book. Aside from Marv, it's really wordy, but the words are fun and it's fun. But at the end of issue 1, our hero beats a T-Rex to death. So I was just like, you know what? I've never seen that. That is pretty fucking awesome.
And the way he does it is rad. Like
it's so rad.
He finds
it's
a
crazy.
spear. He chucks it in the T-Rex's mouth. So it's like freaking out. He runs up. He grabs onto it like it's a uneven parallel bar. He swings himself up on top of it while holding on to a rock, and then beats the T-Rex's skull in with a rock.
With a rock.
Never seen anything like that.
It was fucking awesome. I was like, okay, this book is pretty cool. But then that happens. I was like, wow, that just happened. That is the craziest thing I've ever read in a comic.
Oh my God.
So just for that alone, I was just like, okay, I like this book. And then, he's stoked, and he's very excited that he won. And then he gets hit by a rock, and people surround him. And that's the end of issue 1.
So a lot goes on. Again, like I was just intrigued by this kind of modern people being taken back in time. I guess Marv Wolfman did say his original pitch was take an entire New York apartment building and transport it back in time in its same location, just unfixed in time. And so he wanted the series to be like one issue would be about Mrs. Royer and 2B. And like some adventure she goes on, and something that happens to her while she's scavenging for food. And then another couple, a couple will be another issue. And they're like, no, you can't do a book like that for the big 2, dude. It's not focused enough. You have to have a hero. Like books like that don't sell. That's Europe. This is America.
That sounds so cool.
I fucking love the idea. It's a shame it didn't happen, but he did something fun with this. But what I really liked, the people on the show have heard me complain. I love Marv Wolfman. But I complain a lot about his writing on Tomb of Dracula because I feel like he has a very heavy hand when he writes gothic horror stuff. So when I saw that he created this and wrote it, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be something. But he goes nuts on here. He unleashes a completely different voice that I didn't know. Like, and he has this, the narrator snide. Of like the narration boxes are snide and bitter and cynical. And like, I was fascinated by it. Like, I'm trying to think he comes home so he's a POW. He was captured in Vietnam and he's a POW, and they tortured him for 5 years wanting information about troop movements and troop locations. And he knows nothing. And so they torture him for no good reason. He finally gets out and comes home. His wife is remarried like 2 years prior. And, like, I'm just like, here's some of the narrations. Like he walks in the front door and his wife's hugging another dude. And the dude's like, get out of here, hero. Pam's mine now. And she doesn't want you hanging around. And the narration says he didn't speak. He just felt his soul shatter as he watched his wife's eyes glance coldly at him and then away for the final time. Hooray for the red, white, and blue, baby. Got on a bus, took it to a town somewhere in Nebraska, which his sergeant couldn't pronounce without giggling. Went to his home, to his parents. Keep the faith, baby. It can't all be a washout. Like, that's the tone of the narration. I was like, holy shit. This is a Wolfman I've never seen before, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was bonkers. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think that he could have a voice like this. It's just... yeah, you're right. The cynicism, just the darkness of a narrator. You're not used to a narrator like spitting venom at you and at its characters.
Yeah.
It's weird, but really kind of awesome.
Yeah. It made me think of like one of my favorite all-time crime writers, Jim Thompson, who has a quote that I think his quote is, life is a bucket of shit with a barbed wire handle. That's Jim Thompson's quote about life. Like, that's the voice that Marv Wolfman uses for Skull the Slayer. And I was all about it. Like, hard-boiled, bitter, cynical. This is post-Watergate. Like, Vietnam is washed out and a fucking mess, and America has owned the fact that it was a never-ending war that shouldn't have been fought in the first place. Like, it seeps through. It's oily with it. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So, Steve Gann's, I'm sure it's Steve Gahn, right? G-A-N.
I think it's Steve Gahn.
Filipino, it's probably Gahn. His art is gorgeous. I guess he co-created Star-Lord in the magazine where he first appeared, which I haven't read, but I know I've seen his art before, and every time I see it, I think, damn, I love this guy. I need to find more of his stuff, and I never remember to do it.
Yeah, me too. Just looking up, like you were saying on the main show, he's a Chinese-born Filipino artist. Like you're saying, his big claim to fame is co-creating Star-Lord and other stuff. And it seems like, he stayed in comics for a while, but then did the thing that we always are so happy for creators to do. They go to animation.
Oh.
He went to animation.
Back to the Philippines, where he had a illustrious career making comics there. With a K.
No, he sold out and made a ton of money.
Good.
That's what we want for these comics.
Good for him.
Who are getting nothing. So he worked on a lot of animation after that. So he got paid.
Good for him.
Yeah, right.
So I loved this origin story that we are not reviewing particularly. I thought, like I said, the voice was interesting. Where it goes is interesting. The fact that they kind of come undone, like 2001, like the last act of 2001, as they're being transported through back to the thing. All good stuff. I love the cast of characters. I love that Dr. Corey is this African-American doctor who's bitter because of racism in America and blah, blah, blah. He reminded me a lot of that dude from Werewolf by Night, the Raymond Coker.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite characters from that whole fucking run. After Topaz, Raymond Coker. So I love this guy. He hates Mike. They all think Mike's a murderer. So they're all, treating him like shit, even though he was defending himself because his doped out brother. God, I love how cynical that first issue is. Okay. So like you said, the first issue ends, he gets hit in the head by a tomahawk or whatever, a crude hammer. And, so they get found by this primitive group of humans, early humans. And the question would be, why are there early humans and dinosaurs at the same time? Bermuda Triangle, baby. You don't have to explain anything once that happens. They all kind of, fight over him. They carry him home. He's obviously food, as the narrations. Then, by the way, the narration is way dialed back in the second issue. I would recommend reading the first issue because of that narration we were talking about. But this one, it's a little more dialed back. But, the cavemen are fighting over him, who wants to eat him, blah, blah. Then they throw him into a crude cage, and he finds the rest of the modern people that were there. So Dr. Corey, I think it's Anne, and a young kid who didn't get to talk much in the first issue named Jeff. They're all in there too, and it's like a pen for food.
So, they're there for food, but I love that they all there's 2 pages of them all just vomiting exposition about why they're angry at the world. It's so rad. They just start taking turns. You're just like, my dad was overbearing. Well, I'm black and it sucks. And they just keep doing that. The gal's like, they don't take me seriously. I'm just supposed to have babies. My favorite quote at first, I hate babies.
That's right. And she's mad because she can't get a career she wants because they think she's going to leave and get married. Oh, man.
It's so good. Direct quote, I hate babies. Yeah.
Another thing I loved was there was just a cool sequence here. In one page when he's knocked out and they throw him in that cage and he starts to wake up, there's a cool way of showing surfacing in consciousness after being knocked unconscious. Right. Where I've never seen this before, where they manipulate speech bubbles to make it feel like you're coming out of a blackout. So it says the letters R-U-K, then T-K, T-M-E, U, then the word okay, but it's UK. And it's I read that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's just black. And then I'm showing this. And then you see this kind of wobbly, it's sort of a face, and the letters are getting filled in like Wheel of Fortune. And then it's are you okay? Talk to me, okay? And then the final panel, everything's coming to focus, and you can hear it's Anne saying, are you okay? Talk to me, are you okay? Answer me.
It's really cool.
God, that was cool. I've never seen anything like that in comics.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Super impressive. Yeah, I love this fight. They have, like you said, 3 pages of them fighting about their own hang-ups, man.
Their own hang-ups, man. They all got hang-ups. Just like us, Matt.
Holy shit. Yeah, so Scully is just like, first of all, he goes out and like fights these dudes, like offers himself like to fight them, and he says, you want to fight Skull. And we find out that that's what kids called him, Skull, when he was a kid. Shortened his name to Skull. And it pissed him off, and he would get in fights with bullies and blah, blah, blah. See all this backstory while he's just beating the shit out of these guys. Great fight sequence. He's explaining while he's beating the shit out of these cavemen that he was trained in martial arts in the military.
Yeah. It's just like, it's so, yeah, he's talking the entire time. He's beating the shit out of like a dozen guys. He's like, oh yeah, this is how I can do this. The Corps taught me this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's so great.
And then this whole SmackDown is interrupted by a stampede of, they're like Triceratops, but they're something else, but similar to that.
Styracosaurus.
Yes, Styracosaurus. And Anne falls down in front of one of them, and Mike, being the anti-hero that he is, jumps out to the lead one and grabs onto it, and he grabs the horn things on its big shit, like armored head, and steers it away, and the rest of them follow, so he saves her life by steering the stampede away.
Okay, can I just read one thing that he says as he's getting off? He says, he's jumping off of this dinosaur. He says, sorry to leave you, friend, just when we were getting to know each other. But frankly, I don't think we have much in common. You see, there's this basic religious difference. You're an atheist and I'm a devout coward. Oh, well. Yes. What a weird fucking thing. Well, he did just ride a dinosaur, steering the herd somewhere away from his friends. And then that's what he says after he gets off a dinosaur. This is why, Skull the Slayer is... my new favorite anti-hero.
Okay, so that Strange Crisis has passed. I love that too, by the way. I just had a big shit-eating grin when I read that. I was so happy.
I had to reread it. I'm like, he didn't just say that, right? Like that didn't happen.
So the cavemen are there, and they're kind of like beckoning that they want to show them something, right? Am I remembering this? And so they lead them into this cave, and it's weird the way that Wolfman's describing it, like the cave's spongy, so it's like fungal, like it's like almost like it's giving like your inside of like it's not earth, it's like something alive, or like, it's something weird like that. Like it's fungal, or it's flesh, or the mountain is alive.
Yeah, it's like a womb, like a fungus womb or something.
Gross and awesome. And they lead them in, and then, Dr. Corey's like, this is a man-made chamber. What the fuck? And sure enough, it's got it's got Kirby, like, machinery in it. So it's clearly like something. And then you see an alien in an alien spacesuit sitting in a space captain's chair. And it's all desiccated and mummified with time. I love this. And there's a bunch of like glyphs carved in gold plates up on the wall. So Dr. Corey, whatever, I forgot what type of doctor he is, he's like, holy shit. He's like, I could live here the rest of my days and translate this, and Anne was his assistant in real life. So she's down to do the same. But Mike, he sees something shiny.
He does. And he sees something skull shaped and shiny. So yeah, he goes straight for that.
I love that sequence when he, I forgot why he goes this flashback, but he flashes back to the POW camp, and when they electrocuted his cell, which is weird, bamboo. They electrocuted the bamboo, but
it was when he went for the food,
every
right?
time he went
go
for the food, they would shock him. So he's scared to like take the spear from the caveman and like get this belt off of this dead alien astronaut. Yeah, I love all the words I'm saying so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and so he goes and gets this belt off. And then, the skeleton just kind of crumbles, like the belt was kind of keeping him together. And then, all the prehistoric men go crazy and start to attack him again. But then, he just beats the shit out of them yet again. It's crazy. And then, so they're all getting out of the cave. They all jump, so they escape this cave. They get to a river. They're jumping into this river. And then they're in there, and this giant, brontosaurus comes up, which he just jumps on and starts riding and beating the shit out of. And that's the thing. I was just like, oh, cool. They're going to ride on this dinosaur. And then I'm like, nope, he's just beating the shit out of it again. He's just going to cave in its skull, which is just his go-to move for dinosaurs, which, you know what? Never seen anyone do that. So pretty fucking cool.
So he's having a good old time, but they notice Jeff and Dr. Corey and Ann have got to the shore of the other side of the river while Mike is beating the shit out of this brontosaurus, and they notice that he's glowing. And so, when he lands, they're like, what does he say? He's like, oh, he's pissed off and he wants to, he's like, it's time for a showdown, just you and me, like Dr. Corey or whatever. He's sick of Corey's shit. So I love Corey, right? I love the asshole of any group. And he's like, don't, you could kill him, Skull, says Jeff, the kid. He's like, don't you realize that you killed that dinosaur? And Mike Scully's just looking at the skull belt harness that he has on, and he's glowing. He's like, it's that belt you're wearing, the belt you took from that alien. Jeff's right, Scully. Somehow it increased your strength, says Ann. And, next Tower of the Dinosaurs. So. Okay.
But before he got that belt, he killed a T-Rex by caving its skull in.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did review. He bashed its skull in, then pulled the spear out of its mouth, and then drove the spear into its tiny brain. Yes. But yes, he did do that without a magic belt. I had that same issue, Jacob. I was like, he's doing fine without a belt.
Yeah, he was. He did pretty good against a terrible lizard. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think what we're supposed to be impressed with the brontosaur, which, I thought they were vegetarians, but this has big,
they are vegetarians,
sharp teeth and everything, and is attacking Anne. That's why he jumps on it. But he beat it to death with his bare hands. So I think that's what the power up is. He didn't need a spear or a boulder.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So, yeah, based on that, which I think was kind of a short, I think it was 18 pages or something, 17 pages. Kind of short, but I just looked at the covers of the rest of the run. I'm so in on this. This is so weird. There's aliens, more aliens. There's robots. By issue 3, Anne has a Barbarella, sexy futuristic pop art outfit on.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm totally. I honestly am probably going to read the rest of it after this tonight in bed, because it's crazy. It is crazy in all the best ways. So, and I'm not going to lie. I read that first issue, but halfway through the first issue, I was like, maybe season 8. Maybe season 8. Yeah. Skull the Slayer. But I was like, no, we'll just cover this issue, and because we just basically covered the first 25% of this run. So so I believe that this is readily available, and it is $27.88. Again, it has Skull the Slayer 1 through 8 and Marvel 2 in 1, because Reed and Ben do make their way back here. Marvel 2, 135 and 36. So 10 issues of Blue Eyes of crazy comics, and 2 of which have members of the Fantastic Four in them. I can't recommend this enough. I love the first 2 issues. Fucking awesome. Yeah, I love the first 2 issues too. This was not like anything I had read, and I love that it was weird. I wish it would have been weirder knowing the original pitch, but yeah. This is so weird and so awesome. And this is, it epitomizes what the Bronze Age is, especially, mid Bronze Age is when things just got crazy. So Steve Gahn's art and Wolfman's wild and batshit writing, I'm shocked this doesn't have a bigger following. I think it's a shame. Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? You'd think we'd at least know more about it, but I'd never heard a thing about it. You know what? We have not given away a Shadow Show for free this season yet. We usually do that a couple of times this season. Should we give this away and spread the word a little bit? Let's do it. This is a freebie. So folks, if you, I'm glad you did your normal preamble where you explain that this is something we do for our Patreon backers all the time. This is something that we are doing every other week on our off weeks of the main show.
we're reviewing different Bronze Age stuff we didn't get a chance to get to in the run of the show. So, if you enjoyed this and you're already checking out the main show, we'd love for you to back us and get this all the time and all the back episodes. There's a lot of the stuff there. But well, I'm glad you dug it. I mean, not that I was doubting it, but I was definitely. I said, "Oh shit," several times, like with just a big smile on my face, like "Holy shit!" Like a lot of those, and that's what gets my juices going. You know, whenever I'm surprised by something that happens in a comic book that's as old as I am or older, it's always a treat, and the art's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's exciting, and the art is gorgeous. Yeah, this was unexpected delight.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad we both dug it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good taste of what we do here on the Shadow Show. You know, especially this season, we're just going in, we're giving our takes on some weird kind of obscure thing. And Matt, what are we going to do next episode?
So the next episode, I literally took out a 20-sided die and rolled it and picked a random issue of an eerie publication. So, folks, there was a sleazy... there was a guy named Myron Foss, I believe his name was, and he published this kind of knockoff. He saw there was money in the Warren, there was creepy and eerie and all that stuff, and he did a cheapy version of that where sometimes they would buy Golden Age horror comics and they would literally trace over the art and just add a bunch of blood and some breasts, and it's that sleazy and gross that it's amazing. But so I rolled the die and picked a random issue, and it's perfect for this format because I was wondering how we're gonna do that on the Shadow Show. Now that we have this format where we're just kind of flying through stuff and just having a kind of light touch on the whole thing, it's perfect. So I can't wait. I haven't read much of Eerie Publications. Have you?
A little bit. Well, you made that giant.
I made omnibus, digital omnibus editions for.
Yeah, you made a digital omnibus, and so I ran through some of that. But what are we're reading Tomb of the Terror?
Yeah, I think it's like Tomb of the Terror Volume 5 or something. Their numbering system was really weird. It was like Volume 5, Issue 2, and then it'd be Volume 6, Issue 1, like 2 years later. It was really weird. They were very fly-by-night, very dodgy. My main exposure to them is that they, in the last 2 years probably, published a hardcover that is just the covers, because their covers are very lewd and lascivious and sleazy, and I mean, it's just like, you know, witches' tales, and it's like of Dracula cutting off a Frankenstein's arm and a werewolf like beating it to get to death with his leg, and it's just super sleazy and nonsense, and it's like fever dream stuff. So I'm very curious to look through an issue with you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Cool.
All right, that's our plan for this season, and so we're just kind of going in, looking at stuff, giving our takes, and tapping out. So since this is a free one, I really hope everyone check this out. And if you like what you see, go see us over at Patreon, and you can see all the cool stuff that we give for our backers.
Indeed.
All right. So, and our classic outro. I normally have my co-pilot, my cat Sweepy, here to help me. But and what she always says with us is "Hail Satan."
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
All right. That was a bonus show, Jacob.
That was.